Guys, hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas. It's your substitute fill-in host, Danny Vegas. Danny Deals is sick with dysentery. I am filling in today. It's Un Poco Mas. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We're trying to give you just a little bit more. We are covering the Sofi stock. Let me pull the browser up so I don't forget to do that again. Doing something a little bit different, guys. Going to try to keep this broadcast short and sweet and just get out the information without all the hysterics and editorialization that you have come to know and despise here at Own Poco Moss. Just the facts, ma'am, like Joe Friday. That's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you a dry presentation like a newscaster. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Hello, Roshan. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Not a Lurker's dad and cousin Bertie Alberto Bertie Avalez, the artist formerly known as. Hello, Baltimore. Baltimore. Hey, guys. So I'm going to speed through this. I'm not going to be able to read through all the comments idiotically like I normally do, but I just want to go to in order of importance. I don't want to start with the analyst. The analysts create a huge move, but it's not really the analyst, it's the media amplification of the analyst. Now, just, if you go through any of these, news, or it might not be on tip ranks as much, but it's like, downgraded to underperform. These headlines just come out over and over and over on all of the, websites, wires, and there's all these wires that just sort of repeat like the same things over and over, downgrade in the spotlight, and you just see, you'll just see it reported over and over again. Essay news, essay transcript, essay news. There's all kinds of these wires and sites. There's a million sites like Seeking Alpha and Tip Ranks and Fintel and Ortex and all these other things. Max Payne, by the way, guys, all the way down to 850. So you actually have a lot of put activity, a lot of bearish activity opening up, which really isn't surprising when you see an attack of this nature a little bit later in the week. I don't know. Some of this could be panic hedging. I'm not really sure. But the thing that's interesting, guys, the last 2 days, if you kind of look at the chart, um, which was like Wednesday, Thursday, there is no covering actually. So that big churn, that big volume, you have to believe was, market makers basically trying to accumulate or hedge their short position. How did they drive it all the way down? I mean, it wasn't with borrowing, it had to be with dumping. Was it, market makers sort of tacitly coordinating this move with, they wanted to take profits anyway, but you would have think that it wouldn't really favor them to drive the stock price down drastically if they wanted to go ahead and sell there. But anyway, guys, want to start with basically the most important thing, which is, like I said, Joe Friday, just the facts, ma'am. So ignoring all the noise, ignoring all the, opinion, let's just look at the chart, guys. I mean, why is this line here, which is, I don't know, 812, 813, why is this so important that the stock holds up here and doesn't fall below this line? It's also, very, very close to the 50-day moving average. If you look at the chart, guys, the 50-day moving average has constrained the stock since like August. So 6 months, and then broke out of that range convincingly, broke out of this channel above this purple line convincingly. Why is this level 812? Why is it so critical? I always talk about this, guys. You know, good levels are like a magnet. Sometimes they attract, sometimes they repel, but if you see consolidation at a particular level, it's a lot more important than just bouncing off that level. And markets actually made. Look at how. Oh, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to doodle you guys. I was trying to move you, not doodle you. I hate these Yahoo charts, but there are ones that are free. You can show they work. So anyway, so you have a lot of consolidation right here. Look where I doodled in blue on all these levels. You see that level here on in November, bouncing off there again, all the way from, December 4 to December 13. It plays with it, consolidates here again in October, bounces off it here again in September, and then it's support here back in September. Support, really strong support this whole time, for like 2 weeks in August. And then, guys, you can just continue to go back and see how critical this level is. Support, basically, it goes a little bit lower. Granted, I'm not saying this is not an exact science. It's like alchemy. It's like voodoo. It's like sleight of hand. It's like pseudoscience. It's like bullshit dressed in a cheap suit. But anyway, guys, so even if you go back all the way back here, back to last February, very key level, resistance, all the way back here again, August 2022, key level. Sorry, I'm scrunching this chart so undiplomatically, but again, just back and back and back, consolidating here, and then bouncing off here again in May 2022, bouncing off here again as support in March 2022. I mean, that's the last time we see that march up the hill in reverse. But when they talk about key levels, when these morons talk about key levels, this moron included, you know, this is about as key as they get, guys. So if we can maintain above the 50-day moving average, maintain above 812, and sort of stop the bleeding, I think we're going to be just fine, because obviously there's a ton of calls they were killing, a ton of calls at, 850, 9, 950, 10, 1050, 11, 1150, 13. I mean, some of these are old, obviously, and long gone off the books. But the point is, guys, they made a mint on premium. I know a lot of you guys, sell cash secured puts, covered calls. I was actually messing around with a few covered calls because I don't know. I didn't really predict this. Obviously, I always say the stock's going to go up no matter what. So I'm always predicting bullish things. I'm a perma bull, an ultra bull, a SoFi cultist, to be sure. But in any case, guys, there was just a lot of calls. Let's see what things look like for next week. We know January 19th is just completely bonkers. But yeah, there's not nearly as much activity as there was coming into this past week. And then let's see where the puts are. What an old open interest at 650. Saw the new stuff opening up 8 and 850. So it really doesn't look like the bears are looking for a big push down, and I wouldn't really expect that below this level. Everybody's saying, oh, we're headed for 6. It's like, I don't really think so. I don't really think that's reflected in the chart. You're obviously hitting the brakes, but this was just very dramatic. I mean, you see this in the SoFi stock. You see kind of the move up is this big move up, which is just the mirror image here. And then you're kind of messing around up here for 10, 11 days. And then, the drops are very dramatic. You see this, these dramatic drops with the SoFi stock where it's just a sea of red. It's not like, buyers and sellers sort of capitulating. It's just algos and mechanics just absolutely controlling the stock 100%. That's what you get because retail is very, very easy to push around, and you still have low institutional ownership on the SoFi stock. I believe probably maximum we have right now is like 40%, and I'm not even sure it's that high because these guys play a lot of games. It's hard to keep track of these slippery bastards. But let's just give you a headline before I do want to just touch briefly on the rating, and of course, I'm a huge Karen. SoFi shares sold by Second National Bank of Aurora. Oh my God! So, what? How many do they sell? I don't know. You got Brown Brothers. Who are the Brown Brothers? Why are they buying shares? I don't know, guys. So, Old Second Bank of Aurora unloaded some shares. You got Kennedy Investment Group raising their stake. They owned 110,000 shares, picked up another 20,000 shares. Of course, more, you know, SoFi underperform, KBW, SoFi underperform, KBW. Big news here, guys. I would say SoFi is scheduled a conference call, earnings date, January 29, 2024, 8 a.m. So they're going to release data pre-market. This is a Monday. I believe it's a Monday. Can anybody correct me if I'm wrong? But So this is about the soonest they usually go, kind of first, second of the month. But this is an aggressive date, and I think Noto just wants to get this out there. Obviously, he knows the numbers. Um, I think this is, about the soonest they can make the ER. Seems bullish to me, but it doesn't really mean anything. Um, yeah, I think, guys, I think anything if it comes down near 812, I would personally buy that until I'm not saying it can't get back down into the channel. It's certainly, this channel here that we see basically below this line that's turning red. Um, it could certainly get back down this channel, but again, we saw a lot of consolidation here, so this might prove to be some pretty sticky support. This line is very, 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 very important, I believe. Anyway, guys, so just wanted to run through sort of my view of why those two levels might actually hold up. What are the bears doing if not covering? Are they flipping? Are they accumulating to go long? What is the strategy? Are they going to re-short after the ER? I believe, personally that their gap net profit of at least 1 cent is almost a certainty. You know, I have no evidence of that, and it could certainly be I could certainly be wrong and they could lose money, but I just think management would have warned, management would have done something to sort of, cover their asses on this one because they've been talking about gap net profit and they piled all the bad shit into Q3. So this was really a deliberate strategy and I think they could be dialing up a huge beat here, but who am I? Who's to say? So the timing of the downgrade from KBW, that's just, I know I've beaten this dead horse like till there's no life left in it. Let me give you guys short interest, by the way. I know a lot of you guys are interested in that interest. So I'll go ahead and oblige. The dude abides. So today, guys, we're looking at a borrowed change of 450,000 shares net borrowing. Yesterday, it borrowed about another million shares. So that's another million and a half borrowed. But if you look at the statistics, the borrowing keeps going down. So it just doesn't really make much sense. They have to catch up with what's in the dark pool. But like I said, guys, if you notice from Tuesday, Wednesday, there's no change in the short interest. So still showing 123 million shares short, which is pretty significant. A lot of us thought there would be covering this month. I think the options were just too, there was just too many eager people buying those calls. And it's just too easy to collect that premium and then kill those options. If you tee it up and if you have the media on your side and you have the parrot on your side, you're just gonna get it done. And was it a huge success? I don't know if it was a huge success. I don't think they covered that much, but I think what they were really looking to do was accumulate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I think that's probably what they did. Now, you talk about sorry guys, I'm trying to read my notes. It's a mess, but the timing, the new year, there was not really a lot of news. I think the tech side part was basically made up. Management is telling you that revenue is going to accelerate. Tech was responsible for a lot of the revenue growth in Q3. They're telling you it's going to be responsible for a lot of the revenue growth in 2024. And management has a history of being accurate. So until management proves themselves to be inaccurate or dishonest, something like that, I think they deserve a lot of the benefit of the doubt. Loans, like I said, they want to talk about too many loans, not enough loans. High rates are hurting SoFi. Low now that the parrot Michael Perito from KBW flipped that on its head and said, actually hold the phone. Low rates are going to hurt SoFi. So you notice kind of also just in terms of the analysts, like whenever there's a good rating, they always want to put a bad rating on top. I know that seems like really stupid and oversimplified, but it's really true. I mean, this rating from Andrew Jeffrey, another five-star analyst, was sitting up there $14 in a buy. So how does another guy, Michael Perito, think the company is worth less than half? Another five-star analyst down at 850. But see, you had this good rating by Citibank come out, and less than a week later, they trotted out the bologna sandwich. They ran this forehead out to the infield, and he put on the sell rating of $4. I mean, they don't, like I said, they don't bother to bring out the Chia Pet anymore because, more credible websites don't even list his ratings. But you see a lot of these five-star analysts are in the, 14, 15 range, the 12 range with Ashwin, and then I guess the parrot, the bologna sandwiches, they have their own opinions, and I don't know. I'm not saying there's any like active coordination, but if you know the guy's working on a call, he's bearish. His colleagues have a sense of what's going on. I don't think it's too hard to believe that that could leak out, and I don't think these analyst ratings, their articles, their calls are like material facts, like they're under a lockdown, like management. Now they're able to move markets, but it's just basically free speech. It's like a guy writing an article about a company, a guy making a call about a company, a guy putting a price target on a company. He's at the end of the day, he's just a guy, but he's given a huge megaphone by the media. They just amplify these calls just to no end, and these little fake wires, these websites, these emails, these turds. Um, I saw a couple of guys on something on YouTube. I forget, it was called like the Schwab Report, and the guys look like they'd just been beat up in a bar fight. The both of them look like a couple of young Irish traders or something, but they look like they just got the shit kicked out of them by a biker gang the night before. I was like, gentlemen, get a little bit of sleep for the broadcast. I mean, pot meet kettle. But anyway, guys, I don't really know where I'm going with that, but you just see a pattern to these ratings where, like, when there's an attack, like these guys just come out of the woodwork, and this was just totally out of the woodwork. Who comes fucking this smirking turd should be on vacation. This eyebrow, this forehead. Why is he making a downgrade on New Year's? 1 month from the ER. Why not wait and see what the ER says? How does this really make sense? And remember, this guy was a hold back at 18. And his premise is like it's so thin. Yeah, you have to retool your analysis of the business model because the facts do not support what you're talking about. You have to go back to first principles and assumptions. Why was I a hold back here in 2021 at $18? And a hold here at 14, a hold through. You could see, okay, when it hit up to 1160, he calls a sell. He's like a market timer. And this is the tail wagging the dog. This is not really how I don't think, analysis is supposed to work. You see the price go up and you make this reactive call and say, I'm going to slow down the stock like the Oppenheimer guy, the chipmunk. Oh God, guys, I got to take a breath. That was really all I had today. I want to get out of this stupid live broadcast. I have a bunch of stuff to do, work to do, different stuff to do. But welcome and hello and welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in to Un Poco Mas. It's Danny Vegas, filling in for Danny Deals, like I said, who is just getting over a terrible case of dysentery. He was on the Oregon Trail, picked up dysentery, was also fording a river. Was able to shoot a possum, but is only able to harvest 3 pounds of meat. So not much doing there. A couple of his oxen died. It's been arduous, guys. It's been arduous. I don't know if you've ever forded a river, but it's not easy, guys. You get about 20% chance of just dying. So kick me in the gooch. Thanks, Deuce. I will not kick you in the gooch. I'd be happy. Just be easier just to pull it up again. So yeah, today they're showing about 500,000 net borrowed, 450, and then yesterday it was 900,000 net borrowing. And these really spike after hours, so it's shenanigans. Cost to borrow is up a bit today, 2%. It's not like super high. When it gets about 8%, it's like shares are getting a little bit hard to find. But anyway, guys, utilization coming down, shares on loan coming way down. If you just say look at the last month. The shares on loan are down 40%, but the short interest is down only 8%. Um, so I don't know. It's like if these guys were basically short long, they flip back to pure short at the high or through this attack or something like that. And I know a lot of this stuff happens in options, and some of you guys that are far more knowledgeable than myself in options can probably tell me how that all fits in. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's the short interest. Borrowing today, but not massive. So, you're talking about 35 million shares traded. So, I don't know, whatever that is. That's like, not a huge percentage in terms of the borrowing. Remember, it can often be like 10, if you saw 3 million shares borrowed, yeah, that would be a big deal. But it's classic SoFi guys on the daily. It's a classic mountain and hump. The algo is working very hard to hold the volume uniform, keep the price where it wants it. Obviously, some 850 puts kind of barely printed there earlier in the day. And these guys swing in and out of options, the algos. They make a lot of money, as I'm sure many of you do, but anyway, guys, the rating is there. The attack on the stock was there. Some of you guys were predicting a pullback. Obviously, you're absolutely right. Don't think like I said, I think that support is going to hold, but I always think that. So I could very well be wrong, but we just have to wait and see. The timeline is so short. I told Not a Lurker, like, in the comments, he's like, Anthony Noto just shortened the field on the defense. He just put the defense closer up against the goal line. He took away more options. SoFi has so many weapons. And I hate the 49ers as a Raider fan, but it was like that 1980s 49er fan. So many weapons. So many weapons. I used to say that. Like, I used to constantly say that about football. So many weapons. But it's like, yeah, you got a lot of good players. It's like, we get it. But anyway, remember when they were just going shot play whenever there was like a deep pass? It was like for like a year, all the announcers started copying it, and they would just go shot play, and then like a year later they just all stopped doing it all at once. Very, very weird. Um Thanks, Not a Lurker. I don't know if I'm going to be on SoFi Weekly. You wait and hear from Tanner. Got to talk to Princess J. See what's going on. See if we have to cook fish or if we have time for those turds or what's going on. But no, I love SoFi Weekly, and I hope I'm on. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be one of their more civilized shows. We have to see if they're going to reanimate Roy and just get him rolling. I don't know. I swear that guy reminds me of like some sports coach I had who's just really harsh. Like, Sheely, run a lap. It's like flashbacks. This guy in like a purple windbreaker just making me run laps as a fat kid in like 110-degree heat. Hello. Anyway, guys, it's a SoFi stock. Ticker symbol is SOFI. It is Friday, January 5th. Welcome to 2024. Happy New Year. To all you turds, the SoFi stock is looking pretty good, but you know, these ratings, they have a lot of effect. People are like, well, analysts don't have any effect. But I really don't believe institutions were dumping. I don't believe retail's dumping. I believe this is basically bear, short, circle jerk churn. And yes, they catch a lot of people on stop losses. And yes, they catch a lot of people panic selling. And that's how they make their money. But you guys, the core group, the turd army, um, I know you like sports coaches do that too. They're like, what? Just tell me in English. Like, what are you talking about? Like, milk it, milk it. Like, coaches have just such great things. They yell. It's like Denny Green is like my favorite quote about they are who we thought they were. Like, just so many great quotes you get from these football coaches who are just fed up after the game. The media intentionally asks them like really pointed, annoying questions. They're like, why do you think you lost and your team played like shit today? Is it your fault? Are you a horrible coach? Like, thank you for the question, Sandra. Like, anyway, guys, good to see you guys. Thanks for watching. I very much appreciate you, and hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see what happens with the SoFi stock again. Classic mountain and hump. Looks like it might be moving up because all the calls basically get auto closed, and then once that happens, maybe the stock will move up a bit. Time will tell. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. It's Un Poco Mas. Peace. I'm out.